Welcome everyone. Before we start the next session, let us revise it whatever we studied. We studied about the communist ideology brought by M.N. Roy, socialist leaders like Subhash Chandra Bose and Jawaharlal Nehru, the supporters of known as leftist Congress. We also studied about that these people are being called the scum of a party, and we also studied about the trade union formation, AITUC, and its split. We also studied Kisan Sabha and its objectives. And also we finally we found or we saw that the communism came up in the Indian scene by the communist ideology or communist leaders and their purpose, the two-nation theory and the interpretation of the Muslim League and the Hindu Mahasabha. The next topic is 1935 Act and the working of the Provincial Autonomy, work Congress and other ministries. In 1932, at London, the third round table conference was held without any representative of the Congress members, and they passed the Government India Act 1935. This act established Federation of India made up of British Indian provinces and Indian states. The third round table conference was met at London in 1932 without having any representative of National Congress. And even they passed the Government India Act of 1935 to form a Federation of India made up of British Indian provinces and Indian states, provided for autonomy with the government responsible to the elected legislature of every provinces. The governors were given a special executive power which they exercised before ascending the bills, and the governors were aided and advised by the Council of Ministers. Ministers were appointed and dismissed according to the discretion of the governors. The members of the provincial legislative assemblies were directly elected by the people, and the franchise was based on the property qualification. The federal structure of the government of India was to be composed of Governor General and the Council of Ministers. The federal legislature was bicameral legislature with a Council of States and a House of Assembly. In this way, diarchy was introduced at the center. This act was rejected or objected by the princes, the Congress and the League for various reasons. But they are ready to accept the election and conduct the election. This one already we have seen earlier. In election, the Congress has fared very well and Muslim League did performed very badly. In the election, under the Government of India Act, the mandate of the people came in favor of Congress. Thus, Congress has formed ministries in 7 provinces out of 11. Coalition ministry was also formed in 2 provinces. Only Bengal and Punjab had a non-Congress ministries. The Congress decided conditional acceptance of the office. The condition was that the governor will not use any of his special power to intervene the Congress ministries in any way. And the task before the Congress was a tremendous one, because the high expectation of the people on the one side, and the Congress had to function with a limited power to work under the approval of the Governor General. That means they kept a condition that the Governor will not interfere in their ministry, and also they believe that they have to work with a great task, that they have to function with a great to face the or to approve or to satisfy the demand or the high expectation of the people, as well as with the limited resources and limited power, for which they need a complete approval of the governors. In spite of the limited powers, the Congress ministries introduced a number of popular reforms. Let us see a few of them. Congress was committed to release all the political prisoners. The Congress leaders also worked for the removing the restriction on the political exiles, suspension Orders on the political parties and the similar organizations were revoked. Press was guaranteed right freedom of criticism. When Congress Ministry in Madras remitted the pending loans taken by the peasants, Bombay Ministry passed in 1938 the Industrial Dispute Act, and all the wages of mill hands were increased. License for selling intoxicating drugs was restricted. The peasants' problem was being burning issue. Formation of Congress Ministry had generated a new hope among the peasantry. And we can see the last one. Every efforts were being made to protect and the peasant from the clutches of the moneylenders, and the irrigation facilities were increased. Actually, this was a period of the tremendous awakening among the peasants, and they stood behind Congress. The Congress had always promised workers were to work in a better condition. Therefore, in 1935, they appointed a labor committee and they presented a program. This program included, let us see which are they: holiday with pay, leave with pay during the sickness, employment insurance to fix minimum wages, and recognition of trade unions. In Bombay Ministry took up the cause of the laborers by introducing Industrial Dispute Bill to prevent strike and lockouts. This gave a wrong signal to the workers, those who are on strike. And during this time, an important feature increased in the leftist ideology among the workers. In all Congress ruled provinces, a vigorous campaign was launched in favor of prohibition, khadi and spinning. At the initiative of the Congress, All India National Education Conference was organized, and the conference prescribed free and compulsory education for all for 7 years, and mother tongue as a medium of instruction and vocational training. Now let us look into the major achievements of the Congress ministries. They were reduction of the salaries of the ministers, welfare scheme for the tribals, jail reforms, and declaration of fundamental rights. Students, please go through the question answers that will be displayed on the screen and practice as many questions as possible at home. So, till we meet again for the next class, stay home, stay safe. Bye.